This episode of Tolle Run is brought to you by the Lifetime Torchlight 5K, the Carrie Tellefson Training Camp, and M-Tech Results.
Hi, I'm Olympian Carrie Tellefson, and today I have the honor of meeting ultramarathoner and author of Eat and Run, Scott Jurek. So let's get after it.
I grew up actually hating running, so I always like to start by that I grew up a northern Minnesota boy, hunting and fishing with my family, and running was something, you did in gym class, or, when you were in trouble in basketball practice, you had to do laps. So I really did not enjoy running. I did it to get in shape for Nordic skiing. That was my thing when I was in high school. And then later, my buddy Dusty Olson just got me out on the trails and showed me that, running for 2 hours on these deer paths and ski trails and through creeks and through snow was a blast. And it just kind of like, I really grabbed a hold of it. And then he's like, dude, you got to try a marathon. And I did a marathon. A month later, I ran my first 50-miler, the Minnesota Voyageur.
50 miles. What is going through your mind? 26.2 miles for me is like, I still don't know if I can do it. But 50 miles, what got you there where you're like, okay, I can handle it?
I think it was my, Minnesota background of like working hard. We grew up with very little money in northern Minnesota. I grew up chopping wood and, helping around the house because my mother had multiple sclerosis. So I think it was kind of, Dusty likes to joke and says it's my stubborn, stupid Pollock background. But I think it was, my upbringing and just kind of just digging deep. I think that's the story of life. You have to dig deep. You have to get through tough moments. And when I thought to myself in that first 50 mile, what am I doing here? This is crazy. This is so hard. And then when I finished, I said, never again. And look at me now, 18 years later, I'm still running ultras.
What does it feel like to have your own book out there, sort of inspiring and, getting people to run further than 26.2 if that's what they want to do?
It's a lot of fun because for me, I've been asked all my career, people are like, Scott, when are you going to write a book? When is the cookbook coming out? When's the nutrition book coming out? When's the running book coming out? And thankfully, a couple of my friends said, you just have to do it. People are really inspired by your story, including those who never had heard of ultramarathoning before until they read Born to Run and thought, okay, I've got to do this. And it's been a lot of fun. I've tried to mix things such as the recipes into the book. There's 21 of those. There's nutrition and my journey with food, but then there's the race stories and the experiences with running. And I guess just a way of describing, why do I do this sport? And hopefully I try to describe why others might do it. And along the way, if they run their first, 5K, or if they run their first marathon or ultramarathon, I will have succeeded then.
Talk about your being a vegan and how that has played a role in your competitiveness.
Yeah, it's definitely opened my eyes up to the wide range of foods I wasn't eating. I grew up, again, hunting and fishing, eating meat and potatoes. I ate fast food 4 times a week in college and later in life. And then I started to realize I needed to change things. Seeing the chronic disease in my home with my mother, seeing the chronic disease in hospitals when I was going through physical therapy school. So it was really about trying to find like a new way of like health and wellness for myself. But then along the way, it was like, I'm recovering faster from workouts. I'm, have more energy. I have less inflammation. My skin looks healthy. And a lot of people are surprised, wow, you're 38. I should look like, one of those old hunched over ultramarathoners that kind of just shuffles along. But I just kind of embraced the diet. I learned as much as I could. And I looked at basically all these new foods that I could eat instead of I can't eat X, Y, and Z, which a lot of athletes and a lot of people who try to switch their diet, they tend to just eliminate and not include new foods. So it's been fun. I'm still learning.
What's your favorite recipe? You have plenty in the book, but
for Minnesotans who love a good burger, especially after a run or after a race, I'd have to say the lentil mushroom burger recipe is a great one. And then there's things like there's a buttery popcorn recipe for those who love popcorn. There's even a Minnesota mashed potato recipe. So you can have the mashed potatoes with the burger. So there's a lot of fun recipes, and there's interesting ones too, like quinoa porridge, which I derived a lot of inspiration from the ancient Incan runners and, the Greeks. And so since I've traveled around the world as well as just being interested in world cuisine and embrace that with the diet, it's been a lot of fun. So that one's a great one for a pre-workout run.
Thank you so much for all the information for the great book. If somebody wants to contact you or get you to come and speak or do whatever, how can we find you?
You can find me on scottjurek.com, and more information is on the website as well for the book, so they can go to scottjurek.com/eatandrun.
Thanks for joining me for my interview with Scott Jurek. Get after it.
Really excited.
Okay.
You gotta be
I'll be excited.
Okay.
Or I can even put a twist on it, so like really get after it or something.
There you go.
Okay. Let me know when I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Don't just get after it. Really get after it.
Nice.